prepare? How do you prepare? One of the major challenge of businesses coming into this space is the challenge of readiness. Challenge of readiness. Trading normally, even locally, is challenging. When you now add the higher complexity of shipping abroad, then it becomes more difficult. The need to then become export ready become very important. Export readiness is a multifaceted concept that involves the ability of a company to successfully enter the market, sustainably compete in the market, and significantly grow its share until it becomes established in the export market. So number one, successfully enter the market. Number two, sustainably compete in the market. And number three, significantly grow in the market. What you see is businesses entering successfully. Some are able to sustainably compete, only few grow and become established in that market. Now, what are the factors that hinders businesses for being able to grow or to compete or to even successfully enter a particular market? I call them the sign of lack of export readiness. The sign of lack of export readiness. Number one, delays. Incessant delays. Incessant delay can lead to demurrage. By the way, demurrage is the fee paid for the usage of container beyond the free period while the container is in the custody of the shipping line. Demurrage is the fee paid for the usage of container beyond the free period while the container is in the custody of the shipping line. What that means is that with demurrage, the exporter will be incurring more cost. With demurrage, the exporter will be incurring more cost. But this more cost can be avoided. This more cost can be avoided. It can be avoided. It can be avoided. Why? It can be avoided because if you are working with a client agent that knows exactly what he's doing, it can be avoided because you can do all your documentation early and prevent that issue from happening. Another issue is discrepancies. Discrepancies. Someone said, how do we mitigate frequent rejection of goods exported at the point of entry? Very important question. Now, one of the ways to mitigate this is to focus on value added and then to do pre-shipment inspection. Focus on value add. Value add means it's already processed, but its process does not mean that it can't still have one or two defects or the other. Is to do pre-shipment inspection. If there's a pre-shipment inspection, the exporter will be able to know, oh, something is wrong with this product. If there's no pre-shipment inspection, he himself might not even know that there's something wrong with the product that I am trying to export. And that falls under defective goods. The question just asked now fall under defective goods. Defective goods is a major challenge. Now, when there is a delay, demurrage, discrepancy issue, losses, frequent losses, not something that happens occasionally, frequent losses, or even drop out of business, of the business are all evidence of lack of export readiness. Now, and I'm not saying if this happened just like the case of COVID. I mean, that just happened unplanned for. But if you have this issue happening, so for example, someone mentioned issue of quality and rejection. If almost every shipment you have issue with quality, it's a sign that the business is not ready. As in, the people running the business have a challenge with understanding important things they need to do to be able to prevent this. And this is very important because, like I said, being able to prevent this from happening is what will sustain the business. Someone said it's been observed that a lot of Nigerian exporters now go to Ghana to export their product and even label it as made in Ghana. Is it? Now, one of the reasons why people were doing this was because of the exchange rate issues and then the issues at the port. One of the reasons is exchange rate issues. Exchange rate issue has been sorted out. That's not a major issue now. People can sell their dollar at a more reasonable rate. Now, the issue at the port, there are ways around it. I do shipment from time to time, and sometimes I have to use barge. That means instead of, I won't take it to the port, I'll take it to maybe Ikorodu or to Maitu and put it on the small vessel that will move it into the port. Now, some product is because it's banned from Nigeria. So, for example, beans is banned for export from Nigeria. Beans. Yam is not allowed into Canada from Nigeria. So, they would take the yam to Ghana and ship it to Ghana from Ghana. But Ghana have been able to sort out their issues with Canadian agency, and they can ship the good into Canada. Because beans is prohibited from Nigeria, people are now shipping the beans by road to Ghana and shipping it out from Ghana as product of Ghana. Because if it comes from Nigeria, because of the fact that we put a lot of pesticide. So, but some people have been able to solve that problem to ensure they use organic pesticide. But they have a challenge that since the ban has not been lifted, even though they have organic pesticide and they can ship quality product, but because of that labeling of the country as a result of quality issue, it affects them. So that's why they have to go through Ghana. Thank you very much for your question. Okay, so like I was saying, now those issues, all these issues being raised are issues that are causing, as a result of lack of readiness. Let me give you an example. During COVID, I exported. A number of businesses in Nigeria exported in spite of the challenge of COVID. Now, if the business is export ready, it will still be able to do it, even in spite of challenges. Even in spite of challenges. Someone is saying, how do we get started on the journey as an exporter? I've proposed different options. Option one, you can be a representative, meaning you just represent Nigerian businesses and sourcing for buyer and any commission. You can be a representative. Number two, you can be a distributor, meaning you will carry inventory. You buy from Nigeria. So the Nigerian entity sells to you, you buy from them, pay them off, and distribute in the US. Number three, you don't even want someone to sell to you. You want to set up a branch in Nigeria, source the product using your own structure and network in Nigeria, set up the business, get your export license, and ship to yourself. So option one, you are not even involved in carrying inventory. You don't want to be involved in, you just want to source for buyer, help follow up on payment, and your commission, and you're fine. Option two, you want to carry inventory. You want people to ship to you, and you pay them off, and you distribute. In that case, you're not worried about the Nigerian part. You're only thinking of distribution in the US and register an entity to distribute in the US. The third leg is to have a branch in Nigeria and have a branch in the US that will be doing the trading together. These are the options I would recommend for you to be able to. So it's when you decide on each of these options, then you can know, okay, where do we go from there? You say, is it advantageous to be exporter of any of all the products, jack of all trade, or focus on a particular item? Now, I don't think you should focus on an item. I think you can focus on a sector, a range of products in the sector. Maybe you want to focus on cosmetics, soap, cream, different cosmetics, or focus on food, processed agro product, different ones, or focus on commodities, different commodity in their raw form, or focus on mineral in their raw form. So it's not good to, I don't think it's wise to focus on just one product. I think it's good to have different products in a particular area that you have developed expertise, so that even if one or two products are not moving, there are still demand for the others. So I don't think it is wise to focus on just one product. Now, this is particularly important for a business that want to, export from Nigeria and even distribute in the US. How do we identify a company that we can partner with or be as representative? Now, what we do as a business is actually to assist you with that. So if you want to be a representative and you are looking for businesses you want to represent, we have clients from time to time who will be interested in working with you to represent them, and they will incur the cost of sending samples to you to be able to help them look for buyer on that side. So for these three options I talk about, we can assist with our services in Nigeria. That's actually what we do in the UK and also currently in the US. And US is a very big market, so the more we have in the US, the better. Promoter. Now, the promoter needs to be ready. If the business is going to be ready, the promoter needs to be ready. Now, so in this chart, you will see 4 factors: the company factor, the capacity factor, the country factor, and the companion factor. The company factor involves the promoters, the products, the pricing, the predisposition of the staff, and the purpose for going into export. The capacity, promotion, proficiency, production, and payment, and position. On the country factor, the people, the paperwork, the potential, and the companion factor, partnership and purchaser. Now, this is where you come in. A business that will be able to sustainably export needs a partner abroad. A business that will be able to sustainably export needs a partner abroad. Successfully enter the market, sustainably compete, and also significantly grow. It needs a partner abroad. And I've checked many businesses within and outside the country who have been in export for many years, and I realized this has been a model that many of them have adopted that have kept them in business for many years. Let me expatiate on this. The promoter are the owner of the business, and they need to be export ready. And they can acquire the experience and understanding through capacity building. Then the product, that's the item of export, which must have good quality specification, which must have good packaging and labeling, and of course, unique characteristics. The pricing is determined by the cost of the goods, being able to source raw material locally, being able to achieve economy of scale to a very large extent can help to control the issue of pricing. Staff predisposition. If you're going to work with people, if they don't have foreign orientation, of course, they need to be trained to be able to attain that status. Purpose. You know, I tell people that if it's to make money, there's so many things you can do to make money. If the business is going into export, there must be other interest. And I'm talking now for businesses who is exporting from Nigeria. Now, for you on the other side, you are representing. Now, if you are going to be doing the model in which you are both the exporter and the importer, then it's important that you have a very strong purpose. You know, for example, some people currently ship to Nigeria from the US. They have to convert the naira of their sales in the US to dollar at an expensive rate to be able to buy what they need to buy and ship from the US. Now, but that same business can be imported into Nigeria what he's buying in the US and exporting to the US to generate Forex. So yeah, in the US, you currently ship to Nigeria, you can begin to generate Forex. Instead of converting the Naira at an expensive rate to dollar, bring goods to the US, sell them in the US, generate Forex. So that foreign exchange can be a strong reason to want to go into export. That's for businesses who is exported from Nigeria. But for you representing, of course, you already earn commission and you're fine. Payment, that's getting paid and funding. Getting paid, particularly when you don't have a secure payment method, this is where having a partner abroad become important. Having a partner abroad become important. And of course, it also involves being able to raise funding and be able to source, to pay local supply of the goods. Then production, to production capacity, meeting demand, meeting market demand, meeting market demand. Is a factor critical so that you don't get to the point where demand is growing and it's not able to meet the demand. Proficiency, skills. So there's a number of capacity building. We have some material I'll talk about later on, and we have training programs that we can use, that you can subscribe to be able to learn more about this. Promotion, increasing awareness. I've talked about this. You're already in the US, so you can easily promote. And you can leverage on all those options I've mentioned earlier. Positioning. A product you want to sell should be a product that already have goodwill locally. People are already buying it locally. In fact, some of the products, there are some products, you came into Nigeria, you saw it in ShopRite, you bought it, you took it abroad, you use it, you love it, and you are calling the producer that you need more. That's a product position for the export market. Potential market opportunity. I showed you some data when we started, and those statistics is to show you the opportunities available in your environment right there in the US. And there are data available online to be able to know for every product you're looking at, what is the demand like? What are the opportunities? It's good you know the opportunity, else you might be investing your energy in product that doesn't really have huge demand. Paperwork, documentation is important. I've talked about the fact that you need a custom broker on that side that will be able to educate you on the kind of documentation required for the nature of a product. And of course, the people that's talking about the demography and the targeted consumer destination. Then the partners. The partners. The partners. This is where I think we can come in. Having 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 Nigerians that are doing what some people are already doing in the US. If we have a lot of people like that, we can grow significantly. Export from Nigeria to the US. Of course, you make a lot of money in the process, but more importantly also is that you are going to be supporting a lot of job creation and poverty eradication back at home by creating market. So you're making money, but you're also creating value for the economy and of course for the country. And of course the purchaser getting the agent and distributor. As I round off, I will talk about participation. Participation. Now, in going into export, you can be a passive exporter or an active exporter. As a passive exporter, you can invest in export. Or a professional supporting one area or the other. As a lawyer, as a broker, as a representative. Or you can be an active exporter who is exporting services or exporting product. And in exporting product, you're exporting commodity or manufactured goods. I talk about the pack that can help you. You want to now have a good understanding of, okay, how do I start marketing Nigerian product in the US? Or how do I represent Nigerian business? What are the things I should be looking at as I represent Nigerian businesses in the US? We've created a pack. The pack, it has a soft copy. It has 2 manuals inside, plus 27 videos that show some demonstration, taking you to some website, even in the US, in North America, showing you exactly how to go about finding buyers. So you can also equip yourself with some skill of what you need to do. And like I said, this material is available on soft copy. So if you want hard copy, we can also dispatch to you from Nigeria. It's called Eureka Pack. It helps to secure buyer abroad. It saves cost of searching for buyer, save time for searching for buyer, save energy of searching for buyer, help to service multiple buyer, and of course, secure credible buyer. Now, there are some important things that this pack actually do that I would like to mention before I close. Very important things that the pack actually do. Number one, it helps to the business to be able to know where exactly are these buyers. You know, it's like I'm trying to get buyer. Where are these buyers? First of all, it gets you prepared to be able to find buyers. Number two, it helps you to get the online tool that you need to deploy. There are tools you need to deploy online to be able to find buyer. It helps you to get the list of market with demand for the product you are targeting. It even helps you to know which products are having demand, and I'll show you some of them today. It helps you to get lists of importers in that market. It helps you to get contact, not just the list, even the contact of those importers in that market. It helps you to get the export, to convert the contact to contract in that export market. We also have an export coaching program. It basically covers, it's an advisory service, export logistics advisory, export market advisory, export product advisory, export pricing advisory, export payment advisory, export contract advisory, export paperwork advisory, and of course, finance advisory. And then, of course, we handle logistics. So if you have goods you want to ship and it involves shipping by air or shipping by container, we also have a support service that can help us, that we can use to assist you get that done. You can get more information about us on our YouTube channel, Voice of African Trade. Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel, like, share, and drop your comment for us. Ability to participate and overcome the challenge of export lead to great possibility beyond your imagination. This is because it is capable of creating a great platform for repeat business from the same buyer, referrals to other buyers. It can help to replicate the business model in other countries. It also helps to redeem the country image from abroad. It helps you to recruit multiple partners and distributors abroad. Also rebuilding broker bridges within the nation and raking more income, even more than your projection. And I'd like to say, if you like to overcome, I'd like to say rather, that in this post-COVID era, if you want to diversify our economy, if you want to grow the GDP and create employment, if you want to boost foreign reserve, if you want to increase the value of Naira versus other currency of the world, aggressive drive for non-export is the way to go. Thank you very much.